Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. We promise we won't waste it. All the lines will be muted as we get started today during the call, so please feel free to enter any questions you have either in the chat box provided or call the number that will be on your screen at the end, and a marketer will be happy to help you. Cross-selling can be the easiest and most effective way to grow and strengthen your business. Homes with multiple policies stay on the books longer and have a better chance of buying more policies in the future. However, cross-selling cold without any kind of system or tools in place can be very difficult, and it's easier to tell ourselves excuses like people in my area don't have any money, or my clients wouldn't be interested in those type of policies. But in most situations, these statements are completely false and are just the result of a botched approach. People don't buy product, they buy solutions. Joining us today, we have Stephen Prince, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer of Premier Planning, our sister company and partner in Final Expense. He will be walking you through our turnkey proprietary Final Expense selling system and a simple one-question sales presentation. Afterwards, we will draw a winner for this episode's prize and go over a few scenarios and numbers to show you the income potential and what your income could look like for 2015. Thank you, Stephen.
Well, thanks so much, Jason. One of the things that we're really going to delve into today is the Living Promise product from United of Omaha, and I'm excited to talk about this new partnership with IMDirect, and I want to walk you through several items. Before I really attend any meeting or any type of webinar myself, I always like to know where we're going to go, what are we going to talk about. So today, the time that you invest will be discussing an untapped market with an unlimited potential in Final Expense. You obviously know that IMDirect partners with the leading and most recognized name brand company out there in Mutual of Omaha. We're also going to talk about our exclusive turnkey sales and marketing system that just with working with IMDirect, you now can have access to, and that's Legacy Safeguard. And we're also going to break down the membership of Legacy Safeguard. This is what you get to offer every one of your prospects or your current clients just for meeting with you. So as you'll see, if you spend a little time learning this membership and using the marketing tools and systems that we've created and working alongside the great marketing team with IMDirect, you will be able to set more appointments, make more presentations, and close more sales with Living Promise and Legacy Safeguard. So as we get started, I always like to really just set the table. Let's look at the foundation of really where the industry is right now. And there's nobody out there better than LIMRA who really has put some numbers and some metrics and quantified the industry. This market is not saturated. I always want to say that because Final Expense previously, a couple of years ago, did kind of have a stereotype of being, those are kind of fun little policies. But I'll tell you, Final Expense is where more agents and more insurance companies are even putting a spotlight and focusing more on. And that's because 3 out of 10 households, or 30% of households, have no life insurance protection at all, an all-time high. Half of households say they need more insurance, and that's the highest level ever that LIMRA has studied for many years. But get this, everybody wants it, but 8 out of 10 households, they don't even have an agent. So I'm very passionate about supporting you, the agent, and helping you get into more homes, sitting across from more kitchen tables than you ever have before. And that's why everything we've developed with this product, with the underwriting, with the questions, with the simple app, and everything that's gone into the production of Legacy Safeguard marketing system is all generated to help you be of better service to those in your community, and so more of them will raise their hand to your marketing, and you can sit across and you can help really decrease that number of households who don't even have an agent or know where to go buy insurance. LIMRA also sees that the primary reason Americans purchase life insurance is to take care of Final Expenses. They know at some point I'm going to pass away. And they say death and taxes are unavoidable. There are some people who unfortunately can avoid some type of taxes in different ways and mechanisms, but death is coming for us all. Not to be morbid, but 100% of us are going to die at some time. And individuals inherently know that. And so even through the studies that LIMRA has processed, people raise their hand more often and say, you know what, I need insurance to make sure my family's not burdened with those Final Expenses. And that's why Final Expense is really popping up more. into agents' business and really come across your plate. And everybody knows seniors are growing like crazy or really aging into the market for these products more than anything. So today, let's cover United of Omaha, the company itself. I probably do it an injustice of trying to describe how great of a company they are. Most people will sit across from you and say, oh, yeah, Wild Kingdom. I remember watching that. But they've been around since 1926. United is an A+ rated company, one of the leading brands out there. Nobody can argue that they're not committed to long-term relationships, and they have products available throughout the United States. So they're a great partner of I Am Direct, and we're proud that Legacy Safeguard is also a piece of the main pie with Living Promise. The huge brand allows you, the agent, to really not have to go into a 8 or 10 minute discussion of what insurance company you're representing in that sale. Their name speaks for themselves, where you're not trying to describe them. Here's who XYZ insurance company is, ma'am. They're based in Salt Lake City. They do this, they do that. Here's how much reserves they are. Here's what their rating is. If you're going to focus on final expense, we recommend that you run with really one main carrier. And there's no better carrier to run with than Mutual of Omaha and United of Omaha Living Promise on this product. So if you can avoid an extra 8 to 10 minutes in that presentation, that's one reason itself of why you need to make Living Promise really your primary final expense product. We're seeing very quick and predictable issuance of policies as applied for. We're getting daily and accurate, obviously, commissions for you, the agent. You get paid quickly. They got a great website for pending requirements, and their staff of underwriters, their staff of agent support specialists, they know this product. It's been around, for a couple of years now, so they've got all the kinks out of their systems from the product launch a couple of years ago, and they are ready to process more and more business, even as we speak and kick off this year. Let's spend a few minutes talking about the product itself. Living Promise Whole Life Final Expense Insurance is really based on a cascading application that really will place that applicant within two great products. So there's the level pay, which is $2,000 to $40,000 in face amount, talking ages 45 to 85. They have the traditional final expense riders built in, that being accelerated death benefit and the nursing home rider. And then for an optional, just a few dollars per thousand, you can get an accidental death benefit rider. It's a great feature for the product. With the cascading application, if for some reason they don't qualify for the level side, so they have to check yes to one or more of the questions, and they can check yes to all of them, and they still can qualify for Living Promise's graded product. The death benefit options there will be $2,000 to $20,000, issue ages almost identical up to age 80. Obviously, the app is going to place them in the product that's necessary, and then both premiums, as you'll see, if you run these to maybe what you're currently producing right now, or if you run them to something else that's comparable in the marketplace, you'll see that Living Promise is right there in the ballgame, cheaper or right there neck and neck for premiums for both of these products. So an overview, great commissions, great renewals, talking lifetime renewals. The simplified underwriting process is super smooth. They even have an e-application that you can utilize with this product. We're talking no medical exams and no point of cell phone interview. So if that's very important to you, this is definitely a product to check off and utilize in your current presentations. We've also developed, teaming up with Mutual, is a smartphone rate calculator. We, Legacy Safeguard, developed this in the past for a smartphone. You can just pull that out, and you can even reverse engineer the premiums. So if you're meeting with someone, you say, ma'am, for $10,000, that's going to be, $48 a month. And maybe she says, oh, no, I can't do 48, but I can do 40, or I can do 45. Then you can, instead of reverse engineering, playing with the death benefit amount going up or down, you can just plug in what they want their monthly premium to be, and it'll spit out that exact death benefit. So it's a great feature, especially in the home, so you're not fumbling with rate books and all those things. Now I want to talk about how you can really change the game You can change the paradigm of traditional final expense life insurance, and you can do that using Legacy Safeguard. I read a book not too long ago called The Blue Ocean Strategy, and in the Blue Ocean it talked about there's a way to make competition irrelevant, but you got to bring some value to the table. And it really described the marketplace in two oceans. It talked about a red ocean and a blue ocean. And described the red ocean really as the known, what's currently taking place, what's currently going on. It's really a marketplace where people are just fighting over the same type of resources, the same type of consumers. There's not many new ideas. They're just maybe going back and forth and swapping paint is another way to talk about it. It also described the blue ocean, so the unknown. In the blue ocean, it really defined as, if you have the blue ocean lens, you need to look for unlimited opportunities out there. Create a new market, create new demand, because it's in those markets where you can really avoid any competition because they're going to be irrelevant. The final expense market at times, the Medicare supplement market definitely at times is a red ocean, but final expense can be a red ocean. Was recently talking to a group of agents, and they kind of had this spreadsheet on, okay, here's carrier A, carrier B, carrier C, and they would just really put that client based on maybe some health questions. They really put them in there just based on the numbers. Okay, what's the rate? Who's the cheapest? Boom, done. Next. Okay, age, type of product, health questions. Who's the cheapest? Boom, next. And that assembly line, one-size model doesn't fit all for producers. It doesn't fit all for consumers either. And so the scenario that I wanted to really point out with this is that the final expense market, at times, it can be a red ocean if you make it, but with the tools that we've created and with Living Promise, you can truly make it a blue ocean. Here's a great example. Many of you may remember this cell phone. You may have had this, or maybe you saw it on Saved by the Bell. The cell phone industry really revolutionized many types of, closed many circles with technology. But through the years, phones continued to play in the red market. Maybe you remember the flip phone came out. It was a big deal. But the phone still really did the same functions. They were a phone. And then there was one company that came out, that Motorola came out with the StarTAC. That was a big phone because you could flip it and it could fit in your pocket. But then Motorola also came out with the Razr. It was such a hit phone. Many of you probably really enjoyed it because you could put it in your pocket. You could, have it in your handbag or wherever it may be. But everybody seen that I remembered wanted this phone that had the camera, had the screen on the outside. But they're still all playing in the red market, fighting over that market space. Think of sharks, really feeding on, their prey as a apex predator and just chumming up the water. But then the company came out with a phone that changed the game. They changed the paradigm. They said, you know what? We're only going to have one button on our phone. We're going to develop applications. We're going to make it a bigger experience. We're going to, just like if we were a helicopter over those shark-infested waters, we're just going to raise up. Because if we go high enough, if we set our sights on big goals and changing industries, we're going to raise up over those shark-infested waters, and eventually that ocean is going to turn blue. And we're going to be able just to create a whole new marketplace. And that's what Apple did with the iPhone. And they've had many versions of that, but they, with each iPhone, have continued to exceed expectations. So that's really what we've done, is we've looked at how do we create value innovation, ignore the competition, focus on the consumer, give value back to them, but also provide value for you, the advisor. And we've done that with Legacy Safeguard. If you've seen Legacy Safeguard, you probably understand that this is truly a different system, and it brings a lot of support to you, the advisor. If you take a little time and learn these membership benefits, I promise you, you will understand, and you probably enroll yourself into the membership. But think of Legacy Safeguard as a coin that has two sides to it. One side of the coin is the membership itself, and the other side of the coin will be marketing system. So we're going to talk about the membership itself right now, and everything that someone receives, all the benefits, all the services, when you as the agent when you enroll them into Legacy Safeguard, they're going to receive legacy planning services, end-of-life planning, guidance and assistance, support for survivors, estate planning support, and celebrating life events. So I wanted to break down each of these items and then just show you guys what someone can utilize when they become a member. All this is outlined in detail. It's even written as a script in our client presentation brochure that you can use. So I'm going to cover these items. It is a robust membership, and if it wasn't, I would argue that you wouldn't want to represent it if it wasn't good at adding value to the consumers. So let's look at legacy planning services. As an agent, you can provide this to your clients and your prospects. They receive access to the Legacy Planning Guide software. And this software is really a one-of-a-kind software that breaks down questions and pieces to their legacy. It walks them through questions on family values. What do you want to be remembered for? Describe your wedding day. Describe your childhood. What are some of the great places that you've got to see, across the country? Personal information, valued possessions. What are items you don't want sold in a garage sale for $1? And who do you want to pass those on to, and why are they important? Who gave it to you? And then online account information. We really live in a digital age, and make sure that any of your crazy login and passwords that you can't remember, that somebody else will be able to have access to. I did see recently, a lot of there's a movie star recently that passed away, and it may have been like 3 months, and her daughter finally figured out her Twitter password, so she actually sent out a tweet kind of thanking everyone, for reaching out to her on her mother's passing. It took her that long, and they probably pulled some strings because they were just a movie star. But just to make sure your family has access to those online digital assets. Pet care instructions. Where do you keep your pet's food? Where do you buy it from? Who's their veterinarian? What about medication for pets? Where do you keep the medication? What's the dosage? What are the little tidbits of things that, you would make sure that your pet, continued on after you? Historical insights. How do you want to be remembered? Financial accounts. And then, of course, final wishes. So it's a great software package. It can be private label with their photo, with their family name. Easy to use. It's all on the user's computer, so it's not in the cloud. It's got a great checks and balances system for letting them know which sections they've completed, which ones they haven't. They can save it. They can go to sections. They can share it with loved ones. But it has all these really nuggets of that person's legacy to make sure that they can share that with their loved ones or their family. Also, as a member, is received a Legacy Planning Archive. And this really reduces stress and confusion at the time of need. So we can store these on file at Legacy Safeguard. So the member fills this out. Everything on the left-hand side is to help the family complete a death certificate. Everything on the right is the final wishes for the member to make sure they're shared with the family. So their family's not in a family funeral crisis figuring out what mom wanted to happen. Did dad want to be cremated? Did he want to be buried? You know what? Dad's a veteran. So who did he want to give the flag to? And those are some major questions. If you've ever, been close to the process of someone passing away and kind of maybe having to answer some of those yourself, or it's not a smooth process. People really are very emotional, and there's very little time to plan all these things. So if an individual will take the time, complete a Legacy Planning Archive, and have it on file, at the time of need, the family can call and speak with a Legacy Safeguard advisor, and that advisor can even get this planning archive back into that family's hands, which will be very valuable for when they meet with the funeral home. Estate planning support is another major component of Legacy Safeguard membership. We've partnered with an estate planning and elder law network across the country that members can get quick access to. They can also have an online free living will, allow them to communicate their final wishes and end-of-life plans to their family. And then additional discounts if we find that many people have really not done any of the basic estate planning components. So if someone wants to do those, online. They can have a discount for will and testaments, power of attorneys, and much more, or utilize a network of estate planning and elder law attorneys that we partner with to make sure it gets done. End-of-life planning, guidance, and assistance is really also at the time of need. So we have the advisors on call, as I mentioned, 24/7 that the member's family can call into and ask questions about, how am I going to take care of this? What's going on? What's the next step? How do I locate a funeral home? Mom passed away. We just drove up to the hospital today. The nurse handed us a list of 20 funeral homes in the area and said, please pick one at your convenience, but it does need to be within the next 24 hours. What about a cemetery? We can even help locate a cemetery in the area, but our advisors will help the family create a dignified memorial service that really celebrates their life and work with the family as needed. Many families call in a Legacy Safeguard and say, you know what, I just want to know, are we getting a good deal here? We kind of had to pick all this stuff out. Mom didn't have much in place. They're telling us it's going to be $11,500, and we feel like we didn't really pick out that much. We kind of honestly, picked the middle one, or we chose not to do some things, and it's still over $10,000. Are we getting a good deal? So our advisors have experience in planning funerals, and they can help walk that family through the entire process. They can also help support them in many other facets, and those include personalized assistance with making sure they understand what insurance policies and how to make claims on those policies. Legacy Safeguard advisors can make reservations at restaurants, assist the family with car rentals, transportation needs, even set up reservations at a hotel, or coordinate security for the home. Many people overlook that aspect. It's been a little while now, but Junior Seau, the All-Pro Hall of Fame linebacker, he passed away, and during his funeral, people broke into the home and ransacked. They stole his bicycle, they stole TVs. You can just think of the electronics that he probably had. They ransacked the home, and that's because an obituary is an ad for two types of people. One, to let the local community and friends know that he or she passed away. But unfortunately, sometimes that obituary is also an ad for a criminal who says, you know what, everybody who knows this person and cares about them the most, they're going to be down at XYZ chapel or community center. I know where they live. Let's take advantage of that. So our advisors can help with all sorts of personalized assistance and even grief counseling support. We can recommend grief counseling programs to help the family through the loss of a loved one, or they can utilize many of the benefits and counseling support that's online at legacysafeguard.org. Bereavement travel assistance is probably a major variable with the transient society that we live in. You got children, grandkids all over the country. Our advisors can help someone still locate bereavement travel, where many airlines have done away with that. We see that on average we can help an individual save over $600 on a airfare ticket. Celebrating life events is probably my favorite benefit of Legacy Safeguard, and that's because a member can really take advantage of these benefits today. It's not at the time of need. So they can see the fruits of this membership, or they can get a 20% discount on anything that FTD offers online: gift baskets, wine baskets, flowers for friends, Valentine's Day, all the details there. And then they can also receive discounts in a Walmart drug program with discounts at Walmart, Sam's Club, or the neighborhood market pharmacies. It's a valuable tool that they can really compare to even their current insurance. And it's something I recommend everyone do that has membership and utilizes the Legacy Safeguard Walmart prescription drug program card. One item that is really a hit with members is the Family Legacy DVD. So a member can take 40 family photos. They can send those into Legacy Safeguard, and they can get a fully customized DVD video movie. Powerful background music, custom title pages. They can utilize these for, weddings, memorial services, of course, but graduations, family reunions, or just to do one because they've always wanted to make one of their pictures. That's a great tool that can be utilized. So everything that I just covered is what a member receives. It's what you as an advisor, you can sit down, you can schedule appointments around Legacy Safeguard. Mrs. Smith, just for meeting with me today, we're going to get you enrolled in Legacy Safeguard. Or maybe you're talking about another product, you're delivering a product, and you might say, you know what, I'm delivering this policy to you today we've been working on. I also want to talk about leaving a legacy. Maybe today's not a good time, but do you have time to sit down? Because I want to make sure you become a member of Legacy Safeguard. So you can set some appointments off of it. But if you spend a little time learning the membership, using the client brochure, remember it acts as a script, use that, take 2 or 3 of the variables, 2 or 3 of the benefits, get a story out of that, make it your own, but use Legacy Safeguard, learn that membership. Now I want to talk about the other side of the coin of Legacy Safeguard, and that's the marketing systems, because truly there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And even if you do have a great idea of how you can maybe market Legacy Safeguard, we do have a full service marketing department, and many times some of the items that you'll see, agents have even come up with these ideas, and we've had our creatives carry it out and make it part of the package that everyone gets to use just for working for you all with IMDirect. You get access to this valuable system. So, of course, the sales presentation brochure acts as a script, and during our A to Z pay-by-numbers client presentation process that we walk through, and for the sake of time, we're not going to walk through, the nuts and bolts of it, but you would take out this client brochure, you'd fold it in half, and you would cover the benefits. Then, at some point, you would say part of leaving a lasting legacy, as Mrs. Smith, is taking care of final expenses. So we partner with United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, and that's how you transition into the final expense. So it's a very valuable transition that works super easy. If you have any questions about the membership details, we've even created a client presentation DVD. And this DVD, one, it says the same thing every time, which you should expect because it's a DVD, but it's going to outline member testimonials, a description of benefits, and then walk through all the membership benefits that they receive just for meeting with you that day. Now, this whole presentation, we've outlined it. Like I said, A to Z, paint by numbers, choose your own adventure. This marketing guide, and you get this whenever you register at legacysafeguard.org, but it's going to walk you through everything you need to be successful to offer Legacy Safeguard with final expense. If your learning preference is not reading and you like to listen, well, you need to listen up, because we've even got in the recording studio and we got the entire comprehensive marketing guide on audio CD. So maybe it's Highway University that you plan to use this in, but you can use this CD, listen to it on the road, put it on your music device, and we broke it all down. So you can go to track 14 and hit how to ask for referrals. You can jump up to track number 5, setting an appointment with the phone script we use. How about how to follow up with no-shows, or how to use the worksheets, overcoming objections, many chapters, many pieces that all go in to the sales process. We've also developed a final expense estimator where we took 15,000 funeral homes from across the country and we surveyed them. We got their actual funeral prices for all the pieces that make up total final expenses, and we put that on this final expense estimator. But I want to point out that we believe that total final expenses is where you need to calculate and write the insurance form. One, for suitability, but also just because funeral expenses, there's also family expenses that should be added to that, and that will give you your total final expenses. So what are family expenses? Maybe to keep the lights going, the heat going, maybe car payments, loans, credit card bills. If someone really estimates funeral expenses plus family expenses, that will give you a true total final expenses, so that family is not left with any bill really on their shoulders. If you're just getting into final expense, we have a complete guide to selling final expense life insurance. I call this Final Expense 101 because it includes sales process, closing techniques, and so much more scenarios and sections. We also have a referral system marketing guide, and we call it How to Build a Guide to Earn Referrals. And let me show you how we do that. Well, there's a compound effect of the referral program that we've built into Legacy Safeguard. I can't recommend that you really utilize this enough, because if you can take advantage of our system, it's going to make your conversations much easier. So no more talking about death and dying and funerals. Instead, you get to talk about leaving a legacy. And you can have a compound effect on how you do that. Because if you're able to get 30 referrals a week, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, let's say it's conservatively, out of 30 referrals, you can get 3 to 5 sales. Now, I'm sure everybody's looking at that number saying, you know what, if I can't get 3 to 5 sales, I shouldn't be selling insurance. But I want to be conservative here. So if you got 3 to 5 sales off 30 referrals, you're talking an additional $2,100 a week that you could write in business, because the average premium is $700. So I'm just taking $700 times 3, $2,100 per week. Add that up over 50 weeks. Let's say you take a 2-week vacation at some point. We're talking about additional $100,000 of sales per year. Now, you can do your own numbers for how much of that you get paid commission on, but referrals work if you work them. And most people say, you know what, I've asked for referrals. I always feel like someone is just give me a name of somebody to go sell to. Well, we've changed the paradigm on referrals. Now, if you use Legacy Safeguard, here's how you do it. You've met with them. You've enrolled them into Legacy Safeguard. You've told that person that part of leaving a legacy is taking care of final expenses. And so that's gotten you to the final expense conversation. You've flipped over the brochure and you've walked through United of Omaha. Well then, let's say you wrote the policy or not. You still can always enroll them in Legacy Safeguard free of charge. So at the end of your product presentation, you use the same transition. You say, Mrs. Smith, we've got you enrolled in Legacy Safeguard. We've got this United of Omaha policy. We're going to send these off. Part of leaving a legacy is helping others leave one too. So now that you're a member of Legacy Safeguard, you can actually offer this service to your friends and family, so they can get free membership just like you. So who are 6 friends and family that you'd like to sponsor to have free membership in Legacy Safeguard? The key there is the sponsorship aspect, because if you can then take those names and you can fill out a little gift certificate for them, and you can show up and you can knock on those doors, the doors of those people that Ms. Smith shared with us in this scenario, you will see referrals go through the roof. 30 referrals a week can happen. We have many agents that call us and say, you know what, people always ask me whenever I pull out this form of, well, why can I only sponsor 6? And I always laugh because that always happens. And then what I tell them is, you know what, Mrs. Smith, you can do 6. Mr. Smith, you can do 6. And if you have a couple more, let's just flip it over, and we'll make an exception. You guys can refer some more individuals, some more friends and family. So it's a great source, and we really have changed the paradigm on asking for referrals, because now they get to sponsor someone. You get to earn referrals now. Talking about marketing systems, Legacy Safeguard lead programs, there's all sorts of things that we have utilized, out there. We got client pre-approach letters. We have really some great systems that agents have utilized, newspaper inserts, magazine ads. So if you have any specific spaces or you need to private label these, our marketing department can help you do that. Maybe you have a newsletter, you want to get some of this stuff in. You're making any group seminar presentations. We got invites. We actually have the PowerPoints where you can, or the decks as some people call them. Take that, make it your own. So lots of support, lots of marketing already created, already out there just for you. Just utilize it. And if you have any questions on the marketing system, or just, how do I take Legacy Safeguard? How do I transition to final expense? How do I transition to referrals? We've created Legacy Safeguard University. So you now have access to LegacySafeguardUniversity.com with full agent videos, marketing guides, order materials, and a lot more really nuggets for you to chew on and take a little time and learn this system. So you can read it in our marketing guide, you can listen to it on our audio CD, or you can watch how to use Legacy Safeguard and be successful at final expense on our agent videos at LegacySafeguardUniversity.com. Now, you get access to this website whenever you become contracted. And so that's the variable. You just need to go to the website and you register. Right here you'll see on the website, it'll say agent registration. You register. Whenever you get your agent ID, you plug that in, and then you'll get access to the university. And then you'll also be mailed your Fast Start Kit. It's going to be an initial supply of client brochures. It's going to have the marketing guide. It's going to have the enrollment forms, everything you need to be successful out the gate with Legacy Safeguard and Final Expense. So really, in closing, if you look at the whole opportunity, there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of benefits. You got an untapped market in Final Expense. You got a great service with IMDirect. You got a strong brand name behind you in Mutual Omaha Life Insurance Company. And then, of course, because you're working with IMDirect on this product, you get access to the turnkey system and the free membership for your clients in Legacy Safeguard. So, and handing it back over to IMDirect, guys, I want to welcome you all to the blue ocean, and thank you for investing some time today, because I know it's going to pay off. So, Jason, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. That was a great presentation. We really appreciate that. Now, what we're going to do next, first, there's a couple things. As you've seen in the invite, we are going to have a prize that we're drawing for, so everybody kind of stay on the line for that. But also, before we start, I've got Nick Bartlett on the line with us. He's a marketer. Got a little bit of presentation here put together as far as the numbers, the difference between the Joe agent, if you will, that's out in the field. We're calling this kind of the table of two agents here. Basically, Joe agent writing only Medicare supplements, and then we've got Joe IMDirect agent. That's the agent that's following the path with us and using these sales tools. Nick, I'm going to have you walk them through that today.
Sure, thanks. I appreciate that. Hey, so really what we're trying to do here is ensure that whenever you do cross-sell into those products with like the Final Expense and utilizing that great program with the Legacy Safeguard, that you just kind of get an understanding of what it can actually do for your business and your bottom line. If you're just selling Medicare supplements, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because you're walking away from some potential policies that could have been issued. And a lot of times it just takes asking that one question interview, and you can really find a need for fulfilling some of your clients' needs. So Joe Agent just sells med subs, and he just walks out of a house with one policy or two policies, getting a husband and wife, and he's really only going to make close to $660 on an average policy issue with commission standard around the country. But then in addition to that, he's going to get the $50 in the marketing credit by being an IMDirect agent. But if the IMDirect agent who really knows how to cross-sell and utilize Legacy Safeguard to get into all those other products, they're going to be able to increase their commission by a significant amount, because they're really asking the right questions. They're making sure that they focus on the client's needs. And not only that, they're getting extra marketing credit. The best thing about IMDirect, I don't know if some of you guys are already IMDirect agents. You already know the incentives that come along with being part of this team. Some of you are not. But that's maybe something I should have covered a little bit earlier as well. When you sell any product through IMDirect, except for the Children's Whole Life, you get an extra $50 in marketing credits that really helps cover some of your business expenses that a lot of independent agents struggle with. That's overhead costs that a lot of times just can get overlooked. But we really like to make sure that we help you with that. We kind of chip in. That's where those marketing dollars come in. But in addition to cross-selling and adding the commission, you're getting those marketing dollars. So let's go on to the next slide here. So just kind of breaking it down again, the Joe agent who doesn't cross-sell really limits his bottom line, and the one who has the IMDirect Joe agent has learned how to cross-sell. He's going to talk about Medicare supplements. And the best thing that we like to do here is we like to talk about Plan G, because Mutual focuses on Plan G across the nation as a cost savings over F. And I can get into that later. And if you want to talk to me about this, after the fact, we can go over. I can have a handout. But basically, the bottom line is Plan G can save your clients money across the board. In general, at least $50 to $60 a year. And then what you're doing is then you're telling those clients, all right, now that we've saved you this money, we can use this into purchasing some final expense, some Living Promise final expense, and getting that money back into a policy that'll help benefit them. And then lastly, children's whole life policies are great because they're kind of almost grandparents' policies. They don't require the parent signature. They don't require Social Security number. They're great, policies that grandparents love to just buy their grandkids in bulk. Heck, most of the time when I see them, they come in 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s because they're buying one for all their grandkids. But that's really what we like to focus on, the whole package, the whole senior package, and it's really the only way to increase your commission. Let's go on to the next slide. Breaking it down to how many meetings. Going back to that one slide that Stephen had showed up with, utilizing the referral program. If you can get 50 meetings in a year, and hopefully you can get 100 policies out of that, because most of the time you're writing husbands and wives. On an average of 1,500 ANBP over the year, you're going to get close to 150,000 ANBP with the average street level commission that's close to $33,000 a year. That's just selling med subs. That's not even cross-selling, final expense, children's whole life, anything. The IM Direct agent knows the benefit of cross-selling the final expense, and I'm not going to go through all the text, but you can really break down and see that just by cross-selling the final expense and children's whole life, you can really jump up your street level commission to $78,000 a year just by cross-selling. And then on top of that, in addition to the great commission structure you have, you're also going to be getting $7,000 in marketing credit. And a lot of times they say you should put a minimum 10% of your annual salary into your marketing. Well, you can see it right there. We're getting close to taking care of that for you just by being an IM Direct agent. Lastly, one thing that you get for being an IM Direct agent is a free one-time 1,000-piece lead drop. That is to kind of kick off our relationship with you and start the relationship off in the right direction. It's a great value, and then you can use your marketing dollars to continuously go back and buy these discounted lead drops down the road. So that's kind of an overview of what IM Direct has to offer for you. I don't want to keep this going too much longer. We can discuss this more. So, Jason, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Absolutely, Nick. All right, everyone, without further ado, let's go ahead and with Nick, I'm going to get a drum roll. We're going to go ahead and we got names in a hat here. We're going to see who's the winner. Today's prize, we are drawing for a Mutual of Omaha mug filled with goodies. And the winner today, pick a name here, Nick. Perfect. We got one. It's Ben McLawhorn. You are the winner of a Mutual of Omaha mug filled with goodies. So we will get that out to you. We'll be calling you after the show to make sure we get your address correct and all that to send it. And thanks, everyone, for listening today. Again, thank you, Stephen, for the presentation. I think you really did a great snapshot to show everybody what power the Legacy Safeguard and the cross-selling opportunities are for you. Keep in tune next month for our next series. We will be going over kind of in theme with that February with Valentine's Day. We're going to be doing the Cancer, Heart Attack, Stroke program and cross